And we'll start sitting. I'll just try and notice if anyone comes in. So like I said, I'm going to start sitting in a chair. You can start on the floor if you're comfortable with that. I'm sitting on the edge of my chair, so my feet reach the floor. Feel free to sit back, and we'll see where we go from here. So settling in, allowing your palms to rest either face down or up on the tops of your thighs. Take a shoulder loop, circle the shoulders up, back, and allow them to slide down. Become aware of the seat beneath you and how your body's resting there. Become aware of the earth beneath your feet. Aware of the breath and the rhythm in your body. Softly closing the eyes if you haven't already. Just an offering to go a little deeper. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you're finding a gazing point ahead of you. Aware of the earth beneath your feet, the seat beneath your hips. And we start to grow a long spine from that rooting, that connection. We lengthen. The crown of the head lifts towards the sky. And maybe you notice that in that lifting, there's an opening to the heart space. And the breath moves smooth and even. And we bring a concentration and awareness to our yoga practice. Aware of the foundation so that we can grow a long spine and allow the breath to float in our bodies. Aware of the physical body. Knowing that the quality of our experience is directly related to the quality of our awareness. As soon as we lose awareness of something, right, we get lost in our thoughts and our stories. We lose the moment. And as humans, we have to practice over and over again to come back to this moment, this resting in this body. To bring that balance back and to deepen our experience. And maybe you came to your mat today with an intention, a hope for your mind, your body, your spirit. Placing that in a I am statement and repeating it softly to yourself a few times. Allowing the fingertips to extend towards the earth. With your inhale, allowing the arms to float up any amount and bringing the palms to meet, and allowing them to rest at the heart center. Allowing the chin to soften to the notch of the collarbone, softly blinking open the eyes to take in the fingertips, your lap, the floor beneath you, and inhaling to gaze forward. Nice. Allowing those fingertips to extend again, feeling an opening across the heart space. So the arms extend and reach down and out. Maybe the heart lifts or extends out of or away from the belly. as if you could extend the earlobes away from the shoulders. And then let go of any efforting. And with your inhale, allowing the arms to float out, around, and up. And with your exhale, they bring that energy to the heart space. 2 more rounds like this, just exploring movement linked to breath, bringing awareness to the breath and the body and the sensations that follow. With your next inhale, we come to stillness. Allow the arms to soften in their sockets, maybe coming into goddess if that feels better for the tops of your shoulders. It feels better for mine. With your inhale, we lift the heart, extend straight up through the crown of the head, and with your exhale, hinging forward. With your inhale, floating up, shoulders over hips. With your exhale, hinging forward, long spine, nice, soft back of the neck, exploring this movement. Notice what you feel. How does the weight shift? What happens in the soles of the feet, in the legs? What do you notice at the hip creases? How about the back body? And is the breath guiding you? Next time you inhale up, pause. Float those arms down, shake them out, let them go. Roll through the shoulders, big circles. And soften them down the back. Crossing the right leg over the left, right knee over left, all the way over. How does that feel for you? If you are not comfortable crossing your legs, maybe crossing at the ankles. Just noticing. Inhale, we keep that length. Exhale, hinging forward. Nice. Pausing here to find a middle ground, an easy way to breathe and be in the pose. And maybe with your next inhale, you experiment with reaching, extending that right arm alongside your ear. Nice. Inhaling, the fingertips extend, but the arms still soft in the shoulder socket. Exhale, the belly gathers. Inhaling, finding length. Maybe with your next exhale, you're able to hinge forward a little more. Maybe you found some space, maybe not. With your exhale, the belly gathers, and with your next inhale, you float up with the breath and float that arm down and shake it out. And allow both feet to rest on the earth. Just pause here and notice. Just sensation, whatever comes up. Physical body, mental, emotional body. We land in the foundation and allow the left leg to cross over the right. Make it a comfortable way of being in this pose. Maybe it's just at your ankles. And we'll inhale again, straight up through the crown of the head. Exhale, gather the belly and the front ribs and hinge forward. And inhale up. And exhale, come into stillness here. Notice what you notice and find an easy way to be in this pose without an extra ounce of effort. So yes, we need support from certain muscles, but is your jaw tight and your eyes, the back of your neck? Maybe you experiment with inhaling and reaching through that left hand, fingertips, arm. Arm is soft in the shoulder socket. The breath moves into the left side of the body. Exhale there and inhale, float up and float that arm down. And that foot comes back to rest softly onto the earth. And you shake it out and let it go. And pause here, deep inhale. Exhale, extending into that left leg. And flex and point. And we always want to keep the integrity of that long spine. So we bring awareness to sitting. Make some circles through that ankle. Maybe the toes brush the earth out and around. Let that movement echo into your legs so we're not going to be rigid. And then reverse those circles. And then find stillness, fan the toes out, curl them in. Nice, and slide that leg in. And we're extending into the left leg, right leg, sorry. Reaching into the heel, attempting to mirror today. And point and flex. Keeping a long spine. And making some circles, allowing the breath to be smooth and even. And reversing. And finding stillness there so you can fan the toes out and curl them in and really wake up the right leg, the right foot, and slide that leg in. With your exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head so that you can draw that left leg in for a hug. Clasping in back of the thigh or in front of the shin, what's accessible for you. And then soften there, but keep that awareness in a long spine. Ralph Gates encourages us to sit as if you had a bowl of water on your head. But still able to allow the breath to move freely. And maybe with your exhale, you gather the belly, you release that leg, and inhale, extend it out. And exhale, bend the knee, maybe it lifts up. Find an easeful way to do this 2 more times, 2 more rounds of breath. Aware of the long spine, of no efforting in the back. And then allow that foot to float to the floor. Sorry. With your next exhale, we gather the belly, we inhale and find length and allow that right leg to draw in, clasping where we can if that feels right, but without efforting into the shoulders, using this foundation to find even more length. Nice. Maybe with your next exhale, you're able to gather the belly and release that leg and keep it there. Maybe not. So honor your body. With your inhale, reach into the heel. With your exhale, hug it in. Allowing the breath and the body to guide you without floating back, keeping the shoulders over the hips so you know you've gone too far if your body starts to compensate for a tightness in your body. And after that second round, allow that foot to float to the earth. Walk the feet a little bit wider, allow the knees to fall together. Softly close the eyes if that feels okay for you, otherwise find a gazing point. And check in. Bringing awareness to the breath. Awareness to the body, resting in stillness. Aware of the space surrounding you. And then moving deeper into the heart space. The body breathing, restoring. Softly blinking open the eyes, allowing the knees to come over the ankles. Walk the feet maybe even a little bit wider so we can get some movement in the hips. Nice. And then we walk them back to hips distance, flexing that right foot, bringing that knee up so that you can cross the ankle over the thigh so the foot comes on the outside. Nice. And we keep that foot flexed, the toes coming towards the knee. So drawing the toes to the knee, reaching through the crown of the head, allowing that knee to soften. We're not pushing it. We're just breathing into that right hip as if we could breathe into the right hip. Maybe this is where you're staying because you are okay with the sensation that's there. Maybe with your inhale, we find space in the vertebra, between the vertebrae, so that we can exhale and hinge forward safely with the belly hugging in to support us, the front ribs gently hugging in without compromising the breath. Lowering the gaze to the floor out in front of you so that there's no efforting in the back of the neck. So that there's a long spine from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. What do you find here? What do you notice? Maybe with your inhale, you grow even longer and taller, find even more space as you extend through the heart. Maybe with your exhale, you're able to hinge a little closer without collapsing the heart and the belly. So the heart's still extending up as if it could reach up and over that shin. Nice. Exhale there. Inhale all the way up. Allow that leg to float to the earth. Shake it out. Let it go. Land here. Aware of the sitting bones, of the long spine, of the feet resting on the earth. Aware of the breath. Breathing into the side ribs, expanding, broadening through the thoracic body. With your next exhale, the belly gathers, that left leg comes up, we hug it in and allow the left ankle to cross over the right thigh. Maybe this side feels different already. We keep drawing the toes to the knee to flex that foot. This protects the knee. Nice. And then we let go of efforting, but keep the integrity of the long spine. We soften the jaw and the eyes. And we inhale and find space and exhale with a long, straight spine. Notice what you notice back out of pain. Yoga should never hurt. Just warm sensation in muscles, not sharp pain in joints. Finding the middle ground. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to move out of negative sensation or into space. Your practice, your body, you get to make choices. What do you become aware of in the silence of the pose? With your inhale coming all the way up to sit, with your exhale floating that foot down and rolling out the shoulders and shaking it out and letting it go. Or maybe you step the feet back just a little. I need to come to stand and feel safe. You'll have to move slowly and see what works for you. So the feet are hips distance, so my knees are right in front of my hip bones. I'm keeping that long spine and inhaling it and extending through the heart space. As I exhale, I hinge forward and press into those feet and come all the way up to stand safely. Nice. And we'll put the chair at the top of the mat in case we need it for balance. If you put the back to face you, we can use it as a tool to help us extend and move deeper into poses. So the heel of the hand rests on the chair and we walk ourselves back until the feet are under the hips, and then we float the head between the arms and allow the body to open. Soften the knees to let go of the hamstrings. Nice. And there isn't so much tug on the back body, and it can find even more length and space. And maybe you get some movement. You wag your tail as you hug the belly up to support that lower back, or you bend and straighten knees. But the arms are in their shoulder sockets, so there's no effort in the shoulders. The breath is smooth and the spine is long from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. And then we come to stillness here, and exhale and inhale, walk back up again. Slowly coming all the way up to stand, allowing the shoulders to soften down the back. Inhaling the left arm alongside your ear, and exhaling, floating over to the right, allowing that right arm to soften. Nice. Inhale, float up to center. Keep the weight in the left leg. Exhale over. 2 more rounds like this, just exploring. Maybe that arm doesn't want to stay extended. Find an easy way to float in and out of the pose. Nice. And then coming all the way up to stand and allowing that arm to float down. Inhaling, the right arm extends. Keeping equal weight in both legs, we exhale and float over. Opening up through the side body. Inhale up. Exploring the opening in the side body. Supported through the rooting, through the soles of the feet, the strength of the legs to allow the thoracic body to open. As we let go of the efforting, we bring body, mind, and spirit back into balance. Inhaling up to center, exhaling, floating that arm down, shake it out. Walk the feet a little bit wide, take some hip circles here. Getting some synovial fluid in the hips. One side might be different. Reverse the circles. Nice. And then come into stillness here. Allow the weight to shift into the right leg so you can step that left foot back. Warrior one. Front facing posture with the back foot toes out at an angle. Not straight out, just angled, we say like 35, 45 degrees. With your exhale, root into those feet. Find the legs becoming active. Inhaling, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhaling, bending into that knee. Where do you notice sensation? Find the breath. Inhaling the hands to the heart center, allowing the thumbs to rest there, bringing awareness to the heart. With your exhale, as if you could reach the heart towards the right knee. Inhale back to center. So gentle twist within your natural range of motion, keeping the shoulder blades soft down the back, the breath guiding you. Nice. No, not rigid hips. Allow for some movement to echo. Nice. Next time you inhale back to center, pause there. Exhale, maybe you have space to bend into that knee a little more, maybe not, just exploring. Keep reaching back and down through that back heel. With your next exhale, twist towards that knee again. With your inhale, reach through the fingertips, keeping the upper shoulders soft. Nice. The breath is smooth in this twist. The foundation is strong. The breath is easy. With your next inhale, float back to center and step that back foot forward, slide it forward, walk it out, let it go. Pause in your mountain pose. Land in the soles of your feet. as they rest gently on the earth. Notice any difference in sensation in the right side body and the left side body. And then we'll allow the weight to shift onto the left leg so we can step that right foot back. Nice. And then we find a foundation that works so we feel safe, secure, and supported. Exhaling into those strong legs rooted to the earth. Inhale, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And exhaling, experimenting with bending that knee, hips settling straight down. Did the knee float over your ankle? Maybe you need to walk that foot forward a little. Yeah, nice. So the knee lands right over your ankle, keeping you safe. Breathing into any sensation. Smoothing out the breath. Inhaling the hands to the heart center. Exhaling, floating into that twist. Inhaling, keeping the length through the spine. Exhaling, within your natural range of motion. Smoothing out with the breath. Bringing awareness so that you keep that foundation. You move with the breath. And you meet your body wherever it is today. Next time you inhale, find stillness. Recommit to that foundation. Maybe you have space to exhale, settle the hips a little deeper. Maybe not. Maybe you're backing out of this and straightening that knee. Always options. Inhaling, lengthening, long spine. Exhale, coming into your twist. And maybe you reach through the fingertips. The gaze can be forward to your right thumb or back to your left. What works for you? With your next inhale, float forward, maybe fingertips on the chair to steady yourself and step that back foot forward and bend the knees and roll the ankles. And then land in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Breathing into the front and back of the heart space. And then notice the soles of the feet. Where's the weight? Is the weight in the toes or the heels? Or is it right there in the middle, just in front of the heel, in the back of the arch, as if you could root into the circumference of the heel? Are your hips a little forward? Can you draw the tops of the thighs back and lengthen up through the crown of the head? Beautiful. Extending the fingertips to the earth, reconnecting with that energy. Smile, just yoga. With your inhale, the arms sweep up. With your exhale, we bow forward. With your inhale, we lengthen. With your exhale, maybe come a little deeper, maybe not. Inhaling there, exhaling, rooting into the feet, and inhaling, floating up. Exhaling, bringing it to the heart center. Maybe adding chair pose to this, maybe not. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, hinging forward. Soft knees. Inhale to find length as the shoulders slide away from the ears and the ears reach away from the shoulders. Exhaling, hip creases reach back and maybe they settle a little closer to the earth. And maybe you inhale the heart away from the thighs, keeping those strong legs to support you. Easy breath, release the jaw. Root into the feet, bring some weight back into the toes so that you can inhale to float all the way up to stand. And exhale, bring it to the heart center. Maybe one more round like this, adapting for your body. Exhaling to hinge forward. Inhaling there. Exhaling to move a little deeper. Maybe you inhale to extend the heart, to peel it away from the thighs. Soft shoulders, root into the feet. Inhale, float up, strong legs without locking the knees. Exhaling, heart center, bringing awareness to each and every movement and every breath. Just pausing here to check in. Let the palms of the hands meet at the heart center. Just notice how the palms meet. As we rest in the stillness, what other sensations do we become aware of? What do our senses bring to us? So much to be aware of. We don't want to miss a thing. We need to pause to really experience all of it. Releasing your mountain and mindfully stepping to the long side of your mat, walking the feet nice and wide. Letting the toes point out just a little. Yeah. And extending through the fingertips, coming into our 5-pointed star. Shining the heart open, allowing the breath to fill that space. Big breath in, softening breath out, releasing the extra effort. Nice. With your exhale, the elbows bend, the knees bend. Maybe you need to slide the feet away from each other so that the knees land over the ankles. Inhaling, coming up into your 5-pointed star. Exhaling, floating into your expression of goddess. Inhaling, root into the feet, strong legs, no locked knees. Exhale, so stop just before your legs are perfectly straight. With that inhale and that extension. Nice, last time, exhaling, pausing here, nice. Inhale, exhale, maybe the hips settle a little closer to the earth, maybe not. Please honor your body. Just notice, maybe subtle pulse, maybe not. Exhale there, inhale, float up, the arms float down. We heel toe and walk the feet together and shake it out and let it go. I'm going to use my chair for balance so I don't have to think about that. And I let go of some of the efforting to support the pose. I'm allowing the weight to shift into my left leg, coming onto the toes of the right. Just the fingertips on the chair. Inhaling, lengthening through the crown of the head as I root into the sole of that left foot. And the muscle hugs and the hip draws in so that I'm not just resting that hip out. Nice. With my exhale, that knee floats up. Straight in front of me. Nice. With my inhale, I tap it down. Exhaling. Inhaling. Strong standing leg. Use the chair so that you can breathe easy and let go of the efforting. Long spine, core assist, strong rooting. The next time you exhale, pause here with the knee. Keep the knee bent, the foot flexed. Let the knee float next to the left with the heel of the foot facing in back of you. Yes, nice. Maybe a little bit of pulsing there to as if you could reach the sole of the foot to the room in back of you. Just notice what muscles engage, what muscles then lengthen. What do you notice? How's the breath? Keep that integrity of the long spine. Nice. Inhale there, come to stillness with that bent knee and flexed foot. Consider exhaling, hinging forward, and straightening that leg in back of you. Smooth movement, aware of the breath with the support of the chair. Nice. With your next exhale, the belly gathers. We smoothly come up to allow that knee to float in front of us. Inhale, reach back, extend heart away from belly, knee, heel out of the hip. Nice. Last time. Coming all the way forward and floating that foot to the floor. Shake it out, let it go. Land in your mountain and check in. What do you become aware of? Is the right side body a little different than the left side body? Without judging or expecting anything, just notice. What thoughts start to tug at you? What we do on our mats, usually what we do in our lives. Trying to create more awareness, knowing all the choices available to us. Treating our bodies with ahimsa, non-violence, meeting ourselves wherever we are today. Softly blink open the eyes. If you've closed them, coming back to your mountain. I'm moving my chair to the other side because it's light and easy. Maybe you just want to turn to the other side. You know where we're going. So sometimes it's just a challenge to not watch me, but listen, connect with the words and your body. Root into that standing leg so that you can lengthen through the crown of the head and bend into the left knee, toes on the floor. Nice. The right hip draws in as we lengthen up, strong leg without locking the knee. Exhale, knee bends and lifts. Inhale, tap it down. As if you had a bowl of water, trying to balance, keeping the integrity of a long spine, moving slowly with the breath. Nice. And the next time you exhale, pause there. Float that knee towards the floor, the foot in back of you. Flex to protect the knee. Maybe you experiment with small pulses, noticing muscles working and lengthening. Nice. With your next exhale, hinge forward, inhale, reach that leg out. Exhale, come back to standing, knee up. Inhale, extend. These are only suggestions. Maybe the toe comes to the floor, maybe you're not extending. What do you notice? The breath stays smooth and even. How is this side a little different than the other? What happens when you lose the awareness of that strong standing leg, of the breath and the extension of the front body? And that bowl of water on the crown of the head. Allow that foot to float back down. Come to rest in the stillness of your expression of mountain pose. Rooted to the earth, lengthening to the vast sky, breathing into the wise heart. Nice. We'll move the chair out of the way or use it as a prop to help you come down to the earth. So we're stepping to the top of the mat again. And we're inhaling and finding that extension. And we're exhaling and hinging forward. Inhaling to find length and exhaling to bend the knees so the palms reach the chair, the floor, blocks. So we can mindfully step one knee back and then the other. And then bring the hands down if that feels good to find your tabletop. Take some hip circles here. Move in a way that feels organic for you. Slow it down. Bring awareness to each and every breath and movement and reverse those circles. Notice shifts. And then coming up into your expression of tabletop, knowing that could be down on forearms if it doesn't feel right for you to be on your palms, or maybe you're on a chair. With your exhale, we're finding our expression of cat as we start with the tip of the tailbone. Slowly lift the spine to the ceiling. Maybe the crown of the head drops to the floor. Only you know if this is right for you. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly softens towards the earth, and the heart extends through the arms as we maybe lift the gaze. Moving in and out of your expression of cat and cow. The head moves last. We hold the gaze, start at the tip of the tailbone, work our way up the spine. Hold the gaze and work in reverse. Bringing awareness to each and every movement. Moving deeper into the subtle body. So we're sure not to miss a single moment. Nice. The next time you inhale, find a neutral spine. Let the big toes touch and the knees walk wide. And allow the hips to settle in the direction of the heels. Pause there. Inhale, keeping that long spine, that space of belly between belly and heart. And then we bow down to rest on the support of the earth. Finding an easeful way to rest in child pose. Allowing the body to be restored, supported by the earth, nourished by the breath. This wondrous body breathing. We are truly lucky to be a part of this day. To witness history unfolding. To be a woman in this lifetime. Grateful for the gift. Breathing into the heart space. With your exhale, bring awareness to the hands. Allow them to walk under the shoulders so that you can safely inhale to lift up. Sit onto the hips. Allow the legs to extend out in front of you. And scoot up to the top of the mat. And shake it out and let it go. Roll through the ankles. Point and flex with bent knees. And always we're aware of that long spine and that bowl of water balancing on the crown of the head. Coming to stillness there. Walking the hands back and the feet step wide. Flexing the feet and allowing the knees to float from side to side, the legs rotating at the hip socket. And that movement extends all the way into the side body. The shoulders stay relatively still, but we allow a twist from the waist down and a softness to the lower back. Maybe there's a little more movement today, maybe. And then finding stillness there, walking the feet back to hips distance. Exhale, one hand and then the other to the shin or the back of the thigh. And using that foundation to grow longer, to root into the sitting bones and lengthen straight up through the crown of the head. Zipping up through the front and back body, shoulders slide down the back and together, open heart space. Nice. And this is work, just lifting that heart as if it could reach higher than the knees. Soften the arms. Did you practice the other day using a strap on your feet in boat pose? If you liked that, you can allow the strap, flex the feet and place the strap under the soles of the feet, the toe joints. You slide the feet out a little, the heels away, and keep that lengthening. And then allow the hands to slide down the strap to come to the top of the sacrum. And I'm still lifting my heart to where the wall meets the ceiling and softening my chin to the notch in the collarbone. And maybe with my exhale, I can lift those feet and extend. Nice. Maybe the feet come a little bit wider. What feels good for you? The knees aren't totally straight. It's a gentle, not efforting hold on those straps. Make the core do more work, or allow the core. If this doesn't work for you, please back out of it. One more breath, one more lengthening. Exhale, soften the feet down, remove that strap, and we'll work our way to come to lie flat on the mat, aware of each and every movement, using the breath to guide you. Allowing the spine to come long, to lengthen from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and then rest into the earth. Gravity drawing you closer. The breath softening, letting go of all the efforting. Noticing sensation. The heart beating, the echo of the breath. Reach into the heels if the legs are extended as you flex the feet. Maybe inhale the arms into goddess arms, as if you were standing in your mountain pose. Breathing into the heart space. The thoracic body accepts the breath. Strong and gentle, without an ounce of extra effort. Floating the arms to either side of the hips, bending one knee and then the other to step the feet onto the earth in alignment with the sitting bones. So feet stay hips distance, right? With your exhale, the belly button hugs towards the earth and you notice the lower back coming towards the earth, lengthening. Inhale, rock the hip points towards the knees, open through the heart space. The curve deepens, but we never add compression or effort, finding your natural range of motion in these pelvic tilts. Nice. And then coming to stillness, rooting into those feet, activate, wake up the legs. Connect the shoulder blades to the earth as they hug to the center of the body. With your next inhale, maybe the hips lift. With your exhale, they float down. Inhaling, peeling up one vertebra at a time. Maybe you are able to rest on the shoulder blades or somewhere in that direction. Exhaling, lowering down one vertebra at a time, maybe skipping the lower back and coming right to the sacrum. Exploring your bridge pose, your rolling bridges. Maybe with the next inhale, you pause at the top of the pose to explore how it feels to hold your bridge pose, to rest in the stillness. Can you let go of efforting so the jaw softens? Throat is open, shoulders and feet root to the earth to allow the hips to lift a little higher, maybe. And when you're ready, exhaling, floating back down to the earth. Maybe one leg and then the other slides out in front of you. Pause here. Exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Getting movement or not. Moving with awareness. Reversing circles if you're taking circles, massaging out the lower back and hips. Nice. With your inhale, both legs extend up. Soft knees, flex and point. Nice. And then find stillness there. Rotate the legs from the hip sockets so the toes turn in slightly. What do you notice? With your inhale, pause there to breathe. Exhale, gather the belly. Allow the heels to lead the legs away from each other. Exhale, hug them back together. Toes lead. Inhale, lead with the heels. Exhale, lead with the toes, the big toe. Nice, maybe one more round like this without allowing the front ribs to pop up. Nice, coming to stillness there. And exhale, one foot and then the other floats back down to the earth. Deep inhale, sigh out the exhale. Exhale, both knees over the hips and allow them to float over to one side or the other. Once they land there, prop if you need to, and then extend the arms out in T if that feels right for you. Soften, surrender into that expression of a twist. Maybe the gaze turns so you look towards the fingertips opposite the knees. Allowing the body to accept the pose, the restoration that comes with it. Allowing the breath to nourish. Massaging from the inside out. Inhaling to gaze up to the ceiling, exhaling, the knees float over the hips and then over to the opposite side. And we pause there to prop or not. Honoring our asymmetry and then extending through the fingertips, softening there. Surrendering to the pose, allowing the breath to do the work. Inhaling to lift the gaze, exhaling to draw the knees up, taking any final movement to complete your practice, and then covering up and settling into Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. Shavasana, corpse pose. Allowing the body to be supported by the earth. Allowing the breath to move freely in its natural rhythm. Soft breath in and soft breath out. Grateful for this vessel, this body breathing that holds our spirit. We are not our bodies. Using the exhales to soften the space between the eyes, to allow the eyes to rest heavy, to soften the jaw, and allow all the muscles in the face to melt towards the earth. Following the breath from beginning to end. Letting go of all efforting. Letting go of the gripping so that we can open to the moment. Choosing to be aware. Slowly bringing awareness to your body, resting on the earth. Aware of the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and exhales. And then inviting gentle movement back into the fingertips and toes. And with your next inhale, maybe extending through the fingertips. And then floating the arms to a comfortable position. Stepping the feet softly onto the earth, transitioning here, feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful, ready to embrace the day ahead. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. And allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. Bringing to mind the intention you started with your practice with, repeating it softly to yourself. And then using your hands to press into the earth and gently draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seat. And with your inhale, the arms extend. And with your exhale, the palms float together to rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts and we bow our heads, honoring that perfect light that shines in all of us and unites us. Knowing that this practice is meant to be continuous, to be of benefit for all beings. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May they be healthy. May they find peace and walk through this world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me.